What is it today? Cocaine or morphine? Count the cost. It is a morbid and pathological process which can lead to tissue deterioration and possible permanent weakness.
My mind rebels at stagnation. Give me problems, give me work. Give me those abstruse cryptograms, the most intricate analysis, and I am in my own proper atmosphere. I can dispense then with artificial stimulants, but I abhor the dull routine of existence. I crave for mental exaltation. That is why I have chosen my own particular profession, or rather created it, for I am the only one in the world.
The only unofficial detective.
The only unofficial consulting detective. I am the last and highest court of appeal in detection. When Gregson, Lestrade, or Thelmy Jones are out of their depth, which, by the way, is their normal state, the matter is laid before me. I examine the data as an expert and pronounce a specialist's opinion. I receive no credit in such cases. My name figures in no newspaper. The work itself, the pleasure of finding a field for my own peculiar powers, is my highest reward. But you yourself have some experience with my methods of work in the Jefferson Hope case.
Yes, I was never moved by anything in all of my life. I even recorded it down in a small brochure with the most fantastical title, A Study in Scarlet.
I glanced over it. Honestly, I cannot congratulate you upon it. Detection is, or ought to be, an exact science. Treat it in the same cold and unemotional manner. You have attempted to tinge it with romanticism, which produces much the same effect as if you had tried to work a love story or an elopement into the fifth proposition of Euclid.
But the romance was there. I could not tamper with the facts.
Some facts should be suppressed, or at the very least, a just sense of proportion observed in treating them. The only point in the case worth mention was the rather curious analysis of effects to causes, by which I succeeded in unraveling it.
There's a young lady here to see you.
Miss Mary Morston. I have no recollection of the name. Show the young lady up, Mrs. Hudson. Oh, don't go, Doctor. I should prefer to remain. Ah, Miss Morston.
Good day, Mr. Holmes. I come to you because you once enabled my employer, Mrs. Cecil Forrester, to unravel a little domestic complication. She was much impressed by your kindness and your skill.
Mrs. Cecil Forrester. I believe I was of some slight aid to her. The case, as I remember it, however, was a very simple one.
She did not think so. But at least you won't be able to say the same of mine. I can hardly imagine anything more strange, more utterly inexplicable than the situation in which I currently find myself.
State your case!
You will, of course. Excuse me.
If your friend would be good enough to stop, he may be of inestimable service to me. Briefly, the Pax-Levies. My father was an officer in an Indian regiment who sent me home when I was quite a child. My mother was dead, and I had no relative in England. I was, however, placed in a comfortable boarding establishment at Edinburgh. In 1878, my father obtained leave and returned home. He telegraphed me from London that he had arrived all safe and directed me to come down at once. I rode down to the Langham Hotel as instructed in his telegraph, but he had gone out the night before and had not returned. I waited all day without any news of him. I communicated with the police, and I wrote an advertisement in all the papers. My inquiries led to no result, and from that day to this, no word has ever been heard of my poor father. He came home with his heart full of hope, to find some peace, some comfort, but instead...
The date!
He disappeared upon the 3rd of December, 1878. Nearly 10 years ago.
A singular case.
But I have not yet described to you the most singular part. Nearly 6 years ago, to be exact, the 4th of May, 1882, an advertisement appeared in the papers asking for Miss Mary Morston. On advice from Mrs. Cecil Forrester, I published my address. Later that day, there arrived through the post a small cardboard box addressed to me, which I found to contain a very large and lustrous pearl. Since then, every year on the same date, a similar box appears containing a similar pearl. And then today, I received this letter.
Thank you. The envelope too, please. Postmarked, London. Date, July 7th. Man's thumb mark on the upper corner, probably postman's. Best quality paper. Envelopes at 6p a packet. Particular man in his stationery. Watson.
Be at the 3rd pillar from the left outside the Lyceum Theatre tonight at 7 o'clock. If you are distressful, bring 2 friends. You are a wronged woman and shall have justice. Do not bring the police, or if you do, all that you have worked for will be in vain. Your unknown friend.
A very pretty little mystery. And what do you intend to do, Miss Morston?
That is exactly what I want to ask you.
Then we shall of course go. You and I, and yes, why, Dr. Watson, he is the very man. He and I have worked together before.
But would he come?
I would be happy and honored to be of any service.
You are both very kind. I've lived a retired life and have no friends whom I could appeal to. If I'm here at 6 p.m. it will do, I suppose.
You must not be later.
Au revoir.
What an extraordinary woman.
Is she? I did not observe.
You are an automaton, a calculating machine. There's seriously something inhuman about you sometimes.
It is of the first importance not to allow one's judgment to be biased by personal qualities. A client, to me, is a mere unit, a factor in a problem.